Remember this? Though this is the first time such a demolition happened, new property related disputes with builders are not new in the state of Uttar Pradesh, especially in the Noida Greater Noida region, which is infamous for realty disputes. So what is UP RERA doing so that you don't get into such a situation? To find the answer, we went to the UP RERA's office in Greater Noida to meet the authority's chairman Rajive Kumar and began by asking him what is the percentage of complaints redressal in UP RERA.
You are aware that UP RERA had almost 38% of the whole country's complaints filed here, and of these almost 75% were in NCR. So thanks to the RERA team, we have been in a position to be on top of this situation, and we have almost 90% of these complaints have been disposed of. In UP RERA, we pursue these matters if required by hearings under section 38 read with 40 and 63 of the RERA Act. And as a result of everybody's cooperation and the efforts made by the team, we have almost a 75% compliance of the orders wherever execution requests have been made to us. So I would say that overall things are much better than they used to be 5 years ago. And secondly, we are progressively finding that in many cases, when a case is filed in RERA, lot of settlements are taking place during the process itself, and quite a few after the order has been passed.
There has been concerns regarding execution of orders. So is there a mechanism or to monitor the orders are being executed or not?
Yes, as I mentioned that there is a continuous monitoring of these orders. As you are aware that there is a particular deadline which is given in the order itself by which this is to be complied with. Thereafter, the person, if the order is not complied with, they file an online execution request, and then there is a set process which takes place, including the follow-up under section 63 as I just mentioned. Many builders have been penalized under section 63. And we also are, as you're aware, that for refund cases, ultimately, if the compliance is not done, a recovery certificate is issued to the district magistrate for follow-up. And we are in constant touch with the district magistrates. We have also been in touch with the chief secretary and the state government. They have also been following it up with the commissioners and DMs so that these recoveries can be expedited.
You think RERA requires more teeth, more powers?
I think there's a whole host of issues when you ask this question about more power and whether it requires more teeth. There is a whole range of steps which RERAs are taking, which is pushing this envelope further and further out without any amendment to the Act. However, there is always a scope of improvement, and as you are aware that this Act really came about 6 years ago, and since then our experience has been that lot of things have stabilized, lot of orders from Honorable Supreme Court and High Courts have come which have clarified the provisions, and it's a young Act. There is always, as I said, scope for further improvement.
Is the forum going to recommend amendments to the Act to the central government?
That has already been done. And one area where broadly there is a consensus is that there are a lot of stakeholders which affect a project. For example, it could be the authorities relating to passing of map or extension of maps and so on. Now, sometimes there is a process delay in these matters, although lot of these authorities are now completely online, which is a very positive thing. Having said that, some kind of a provision of issuance of directive to other stakeholders to at least expedite the decision at their level under their rules would be of help.
It has been seen that now in their filings, builders are giving a long deadline for project completion so as to avoid any penal action from the respective RERAs. So, is RERA thinking of doing something on these lines?
See, if a promoter gives a prima facie disproportionate timeline, before registration, we discuss it with him as to if he has to develop, say, 10 acres of plotted development, why does he need 7 years? And by and large, our experience is that a fine golden balance is found and the projects do get registered accordingly.
What is all in the pipeline at UP RERA that you are planning now?
We were the first ones to come up with e-court in January 2020. Our complaint process was online right from day one. Registration of projects, extension of projects, execution, etc. is now online. So, because these had come up organically at different points of times, we are now looking for UP RERA Digital version 2 so that the whole database can be integrated and it facilitates all our stakeholders in their work and especially the buyers. So we expect in the next couple of months we should be able to launch version 2 for which the study is completed and the process of onboarding a software developer is now starting.
In the entire country, probably Noida, Greater Noida is the region where we see maximum number of disputed real estate cases. So are you planning to do something specific to address the issue?
You are also would be aware that UP RERA had taken up steps that in collaboration with the associations and the promoters, a lot of projects which were stalled, we have taken them up, more than a dozen. And I'm happy to report that at least 2 of those projects are now moved on to the occupancy certificate stage, which is giving a lot of hope to similar projects within the state and outside of the state also. We have from UP RERA side onboarded a consultant to go into an in-depth analysis of projects in Noida and Greater Noida area and come up with what possible solutions are there so that the home buyers can get their house expeditiously. So we expect to get that report next month, and then in consultation with the state government, we would be making appropriate recommendations.
One last thing, there has been seen, we have been witnessing a tendency from the promoters that once an order is passed from RERA, they go to higher authorities, and this is becoming a norm to delay and to evade the government action, the legal action, and lot of forum shopping is happening. So, what a buyer shall do to get to avoid this thing?
If we look at the proportion of cases where appeals have been filed in UP's case, I would say that proportion is rather low. And on the other hand, generally we have found that the appellate authority have been quick in passing the orders. And as you are aware that if the appellate authority passes an order and it's not complied with, there is a provision of a jail term of up to 3 years.
That was UP RERA Chairman Rajive Kumar with us.